part and the imaginary part. The real part is the part that's sort of in front that has just real numbers, and the imaginary part is the coefficient on the I. So for example, if you take a look at this number right here, 4x minus 6I, then in fact the 4x represents the real part of this complex number, and the negative 6 actually represents the imaginary part. And it turns out that if you have two complex numbers that represent the same value, then in fact their real parts must be equal and their imaginary parts must be equal. So here's a question. Find the values of x and y that make this equation hold true. Well, since this is a complex number and this is a complex number, I know that the real parts have to be equal and the imaginary parts have to be equal. That means that the real part, 4x of this number, has to equal the real part, 20 of this number, which tells me that x equals 5. And the imaginary parts have to be equal. That means that negative 6, that's the imaginary part, the coefficient on the I, has to equal negative 18y. Now if I solve this for y, I divide both sides by negative 18, and I see that y would equal negative 6 divided by negative 18, which of course is 1/3. So for these two complex numbers to be equal, x has to be 5, y has to be 1/3, and then the real parts are equal and the imaginary parts are equal. Neat. Complex numbers. You got a real part, you got an imaginary part. Enjoy. Now, suppose you have two complex numbers and you want to add them together. Well, actually, we can define addition on complex numbers, and it's kind of what you might guess. The way we're going to actually combine and add two complex numbers, or subtract them, is to add or subtract their real parts, and then add or subtract their imaginary parts. So, for example, suppose we want to add these two complex numbers, negative 5 plus 2i plus the complex number 7 minus 8i. How do we do it? What's the answer? What do we do? What's the point? All we do is we're going to now combine first the real parts, so I have negative 5 plus 7, which is just 2. And now we combine the imaginary parts. We're sort of combining like terms, just like we always do in life. So we have 2i, and then I have plus negative 8i, and so that's minus 6i. Could be easier. Could be easier. So we combine like terms. We combine the real parts, we combine the imaginary parts, and we get the complex number. What about this one? What if we want to subtract? Well, if you want to subtract, the exact same idea, we just have to make sure we're subtracting everything. So again, here we're going to subtract like terms, the real parts and the imaginary parts. Here I see a 1 minus negative 2. So that's going to be actually the same thing as 1 plus 2, which equals 3. And now I see a 3i minus 3i. So we combine those, and we see 3 minus 3 is just 0, and so I see plus 0i. That's one way of expressing the answer, or you can just write the answer as 3. The point is you have to subtract not just the real part, but also subtract the imaginary parts from each other. So that negative sign, in some sense, has to be distributed. It's the only thing that's careful here, but beyond that, we're combining like terms. Easiest way to actually add and subtract complex numbers. Hey, multiplying complex numbers is not a big deal at all, as long as you remember that we have to sort of distribute all the terms, and the key fact that I squared equals negative 1. Let me show you what I mean with an example. So let's multiply 3i by the complex number 1 minus 5i. All I'm going to do is just distribute. So I'm going to distribute that 3i, and what I see here is 3i times 1 minus, and then I have 3i times 5i, that's 15i squared. But remember that I squared is the same thing as negative 1. So now I've got a negative here and a negative here, so that's just 3i plus 15. And we traditionally write the real part first, so I'm writing 15 plus 3i. So the product of these two complex numbers is the complex number 15 plus 3i. No problem. Let's sort of up the ante a little bit. See how we multiply these two complex numbers together. All right, so here we have to be a little bit more careful. We've got to do lots of distributing. So we first multiply the first two. 2 times 5, that's 10. Then the outside terms here are going to be 2 times negative 4i. That's going to be negative 8i. The inside terms produce, when I take the product, a negative 15i. And the last times the last, negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 4 is 12. 12i squared. But wait, I squared is the same thing as negative 1, so I see a 10 minus 8i minus 15i minus 12. And now we combine like terms. We combine the real parts and the imaginary parts. So when I combine these two together, I see just a negative 2. When I combine these two, I see a negative 23i. So you see, it's a couple of steps involved, a couple of steps that are involved, and then we have to combine like terms, the real parts and the imaginary parts, and then we're set. The answer to this product has an answer of negative 2 minus 23i. You want to try another one? I know you do. 5 minus 2i times 5 plus 2i. 5 times 5 is 25. The outside terms produce a plus 10i. The inside terms produce a minus 10i. And the last times the last produce a minus 4i squared. Well, I squared is just negative 1. So I see here 25 plus 10i minus 10i, they actually drop out. Look at that, they cancel. And I'm just left with a negative, and then the negative 1 here gives me a plus 4. And so I see 25 plus 4 is 29. Notice that the answer happens to have no imaginary part. This is actually a real number. And if you look really closely, you'll notice something interesting. You'll notice that this number is related to that number. In fact, this number is the complex conjugate of this number. Really? Well, remember, all that means is that I switched the sign of the imaginary part. This is a really cool and important fact. That if you take a complex number and multiply it by its complex conjugate, the answer is always going to be a real number. Remember that. It's going to be useful in a little bit. Now, let's try one last example. Okay, so 7i times 7i. So what is that? Well, 7 times 7 is 49. I times I is I squared. But of course, I squared is just negative 1, so this is just negative 49. Could be easier. Neat. So, the point is, when you want to multiply two complex numbers, it's not a problem at all. You just have to make sure that you do all the distribution, issues in there, and that you combine like terms, putting together the real parts and the imaginary parts, together with the final fact that whenever you see an I squared, that equals negative 1. It becomes real. Other than that, you're all set to go.